This is a Sunday Gamer Gardener. Dotson.
Oh, this is going to be an interesting. This is going to be an interesting one, isn't it? I don't know what that means. This is going to be interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Skinny Jean Kind of Podcast. This is a little bit different from the other podcasts we do. I do these little bonus specials recently. We'll get a lot more of these next year, which is fantastic. I have talked about this already on my Patreon. Yeah, I've got a Patreon. Not mentioned it on here much. Go hit that up if you want to be part of the G Unit. There's more on there. Go and find out about it. A lot more. Or we get real honest over. You think this podcast is going to be honest? That is honest over there. Let me tell you. Be part of the G Unit. It's $5, which doesn't really translate well because a lot of my audience is UK based. But I don't know. Was that about £4? Is it? I don't know the currency exchange. If you want real proper honest review. But we're going to go into it, everyone. We're going to go into, is the Garden Media Guild Awards a fix? We're going to answer that later. Yes, yeah, oh yeah. Later on in this podcast. We're also going to go through the different awards that have been shortlisted and tell you a little bit about what I think about them. I mean, I've also at the same time got to remember that next week I'm going to the awards. I mean, even though this podcast hasn't been shortlisted, I know, hasn't been shortlisted. Everyone. You may have heard some podcasts where I'm talking about, like, even with Joe Swift one we just had not long ago, with the Maid's Garden one. I think I listened back to that and the intro was like, hey guys, we could possibly next week. Well, we're not going to be. Pre-recorded those. I squirmed when I listened back on Monday. Because so pumped was I about these awards. So cocksure of myself that we were going to win. I wrote a speech. I've booked the hotel. I've already booked the hotel. £95 for a travel lodge. We booked the hotel, dear listener. Wrote the speech. Got the outfit ready. No gold jacket this year, so sorry about that. I was ready to go. Then slowly, Garden Media Guild. And if you don't know who the Garden Media Guild are, it's pretty much in the name. But basically every year, the Garden Media Guild put on an awards for the Garden Media. Shout about who's great in that. And we got shortlisted last year, which was fantastic. We got shortlisted. And this year, I thought it was a dead cert. You know what we've done this year, peeps? We had a massive campaign to get the Don on. We got him on. We got Titchmarsh on. We got Swifty on. We've just had him on. We've had some amazing guests this year. And then, slowly, GMG put out tweets about who's going to be shortlisted. I thought there was a mistake. I honestly thought there was a mistake. But it turns out there wasn't. Turns out there wasn't a mistake, guys. We weren't shortlisted. There's some heavy hitters on this year. Heavy hitters. We weren't shortlisted. So, not going to be bitter. We're not bitter about. We're not bitter, are we? We're not bitter about it. That's not what this podcast is about. It's not bitterness at all. Just hold back the tears a little. Can we play the intro? Just hold back these tears and then we're gonna talk about it. Let's go.
Skinny Jean is not my lover. It's just a guy that taught me about gardening. Skinny Jean is not my lover. It's just a guy that taught me about gardening.
I couldn't could not stay quiet about this. And I have done a podcast about this already. We properly went into it when I found out on the Patreon, like I said. And I got some really kind messages from quite a few people saying, you were robbed. Yeah. Yeah, was I? Robbed? Not bitter. Don't worry, you know, it was just supportive messages. And I'm not going to be one of them people, everyone. This is quite self-indulgent, this first 10 minutes, by the way, dear listener. So if you do want to hear my thoughts on the other shortlists, then please jump forward. I don't know, 10, 40 minutes. I'm not going to be one of them people who say, look, I ain't worried about it. It's just one of them things. I know how it works. You know, I'm not worried. These things happen. I'm not going to be one of them people. Because generally, I honestly thought I put the Monty interview in. And I mean, maybe I should have put the Titch Marshall. I don't know. I just think, go listen back to that Monty interview and tell me what you think. But I thought we spent so long trying to get Monty on, and we did it. And if I find out, write this down. If I find out who the judges were for this, that's it. That is it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably just stare at them out. But that is it. All right, between me and them judges, that is it. Let's see who was shortlisted for the Radio Broadcast Podcast of the Year. The Garden Organic Podcast by Mr. Chris Collins. That's a new one this year. Roots and All Podcast from Sarah Wilson was shortlisted. BBC Radio Newcastle, Garden Mania was shortlisted. The Plant Based Podcast was also shortlisted. BBC Radio All-Star Gardener's Corner in France was also shortlisted. Those are the top 5 this year in radio broadcast. I'll be honest with you, I've not listened to BBC Radio Newcastle, and I've not listened to BBC. Actually, I have. That's a lie. BBC Radio Ulster Gardener's Corner in France, I have listened to, and the reason I listened to that, dear listener, is that Mr. Peter Donegan, who's been on this podcast before, we actually had him on talking about that. I flew over to Ireland and we did a massive interview and took discussion about it and some videos and bits like that. And we did the whole story with him. Before BBC Radio Ulster come along, the whole story. And I've listened to Gardener's Corner in France and the piece that they did. And I'll be honest with you. I would say this. Let's be fair. I would say this. I think our coverage of that was 100 times better than what they put together. I'm putting it out there. And, you know, I think I might, if anyone listens to this who wants to have a fight about it. What happened? Well, a couple of podcasters and radio presenters had a fight in the middle of Savoy. I honestly do think that, and I'm going to say that. Of course, I'm going to say that. Of course, I'm not going to say that I think someone else is better than mine. Hey, mine's better, guys. But that's my personal thing. I'll be fair, I've not heard BBC Radio Newcastle. Sometimes I feel like they've got to put a BBC in there. They've got to let the BBC win somewhere along the line. The Plant-Based Podcast, new this year with Ellen Mary and Mr. Michael Perry, who I think we've got in a couple of weeks on Perry. We've got Perry coming up in a couple of weeks on the podcast. He talked to us about that. I do like what they're bringing to the table, something a little bit different, something a little bit new. I think they've got something coming up next year. I think they might be on the same sort of thoughts as what I'm doing. I'm not sure yet, guys, but they're definitely bringing something new to the table. Definitely made a song and dance about podcasts. 100% feel like they've brought a lot more attention to Gardening Podcast this year through bringing theirs out. So I have to big them up, and I definitely agree they should be on there. To be fair, Roots and All, I don't listen to that often, and I'm not into going into why I don't like Roots and All, or why I don't like this podcast, why I don't like Garden Organic. I'll tell you what I don't like them, because they're not Skinny Jean Gardener podcast. Roots Naught, I don't know. Again, I don't know what podcast Sarah put in. And Garden Organic, that's a new podcast this year with Chris Collins. I feel like it's still trying to find its feet at the moment. But good for it to get in there. At the same time, last year I was shortlisted. I can't remember what podcast we put in last year. Can you? I was shortlisted last year. A few of these are new. I don't think Sarah was shortlisted last year. Obviously, Plant-Based and Garden Organic wasn't. And there's 3 podcasts against 2 radio shows here. So, I mean, we've got to give it that podcast at least being represented, which is fantastic. But, I mean, I put such a song and dance into this each year. I just feel like, you know, I am gutted. Let's be honest, I am gutted about it. But is the Garden Media... Here's the question. Here it is. Here's it's going to be answered. Is the Garden Media Guild Awards a fix? The answer is... yes, it is a fix. All right? It's an absolute joke. No, I'm not joking. It is in a way because... and here we go. It is in a way because it is from a very small selection of judges. I think it's only about 3 that get to listen to a 1-minute piece, and then they can listen to the rest of the podcast. And if you are a judge, I don't know, they obviously, you don't get paid to be a judge. You're just given that privilege. I think somewhere there's a privilege sign. You get that privilege to be a judge. Are you going to sit and listen to what we've got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they're half an hour at a time, that is that 2.5 hours of content you got to go through. And if you don't know that person, don't know who judged it. I'm going to find out. If you don't know who them people are, that it's biased in a sense. And by the way, if I was shortlisted, it's not biased. It's none of this stuff. It's not a fix. It's 100% straight down the line. There's no problem with it. But I'm not shortlisted, so there's a massive problem with it, all right? But it is those 3 judges' opinions, which is fine. That's how it goes. That's how the awards things are. Am I bitter? Yes. But, okay, here's the rub. Here we go. And I did say, as soon as I heard this, I was like, do you know what? Forget it. Next year, I'm 100% not entering. I'm not entering. No way. Never again. They can do, GMG can do one. They can do, they can do one. They can do one. But, I've had a bit of time since I found out devastating news. And this is the thing, right? And there's a few points I've got to make. On the day I found out, it was half term, I think. I was with Olive for the day. We had a daddy and daughter day, and I knew something was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to be that day that it was going to come out, and I refreshed my Twitter. There's a story here, guys. I refreshed. Settle in. I refreshed my Twitter, and up it come. Radio Broadcast Podcast of the Year. And I was I'll be honest with you, I honestly thought it was a dead cert. And I looked through a list, and I obviously wasn't there. And I was gutted. I'm serious. I was gutted because I pour a lot into this podcast, and it doesn't seem like it sometimes, but I pour a lot into this podcast, and I was gutted. And we were just sitting in this cinema about to watch Shaun the Sheep. And I looked at her, and she was eating some popcorn, excited about watching Shaun the Sheep. And all of a sudden, I just thought, it is what it is. It doesn't matter. The point is me sitting here being grumpy and moody and gutted, and I've got my little girl sitting here who's full of joy, and these things don't matter. It does. Inside I was boiling. But on the outside, I was like, do you know what? Life means this is getting serious. This has got deep. Life is a strange thing, and getting hooked up on this thing, getting angry about it, and recording a podcast solely about it for 20 minutes, chatting about why I should be. Well, it's not worth it. And then that was like a couple of weeks ago now, and I've got over that feeling. And now the anger's back. Now it's coming up to me. But look, that's one side of it. I felt like, family's important. And it's just an award. It's just an award. It's based on people's opinions, and that's the way it is. And people's support coming in and saying, look, don't worry, man. It's 100% right. And am I going to enter next year? Yes, of course I'm going to enter. Because it keeps you going. You may know that or may not, but for ages I've been trying to do bits of the RHS. And am I allowed to say this? I'm going to say it anyway. But next year, after years, I've done a few talks at RHS shows. After years of trying to do kids talks and family talks at RHS shows, we've come to an arrangement. Basically, an arrangement. Sounds like, here you go, like, it's cut quick, mate. We are going to do every single weekend of every show next year. There'll be me, I will be there, and I'll be doing talks. And that has took a few years because, dear listener, we're doing something a bit different. Not got slideshows. I'm not saying, I'm up there. I'm got the gold jacket on. We're bringing something totally different to kids and gardening, And that's the same with this podcast. We're trying to bring something different. We're trying to bring a different tone to the gardening world. We're adding in silly jingles. We talked about him a lot. Mr. James Alexander Sinclair messaged me the other day, said, where's my jingle? He just listened to the Joe Swift one. He said, well, all right, where's my jingle? So now I've got to do him a jingle. I'll probably charge him. And, no, I won't. But where was I going at? Oh, yeah, we've got jingles going on. We're doing something totally different. And next year, even more, we're bringing in the phone-in aspect. That's coming back weekly as well. And we are getting some incredible people, some totally new people. We've got a brand new sponsor on board in January. I'm so excited about that. We've got the new phone-in aspect, and we're also doing something totally different, which is a little bit, what we've done, like a little bit like this bonus podcast, a little bit like the Titchmarsh when he went on to Adidas. We're going to be doing, am I giving all the secrets away? Sure. We're doing the news aspect of it as well, so as soon as news story comes in, we can talk about them. We are literally breaking the mould of the gardening podcast as it goes. I mean, the garden podcast is growing. We've got more garden podcasts that we've even seen in the shortlists. We've got more garden podcasts coming up. So there's so much happening at the moment. And so, yeah, my point is that we've started work. I've started doing bits with the IHS next year, which is so exciting. And we're doing something different, which means, especially for like Garden Media Guild, podcasts. Actually, I don't even think podcast was even mentioned the first time I went to one of these awards, and that was only a couple of years ago. So things are changing so much. So, gives you the fire in the belly to continue. So I won't talk about it anymore. Is it a fix? Absolutely yes, but absolutely no at the same time. But we have got the awards next week, so I told you it'd be about 20 minutes in. Let's go through the shortlist. I'll tell you a little bit what I think. So social media influencer of the year. I didn't go in for this one this year, but Jane Perrone has been shortlisted. I'm guessing for she does Houseplant Hour or something like that, doesn't she? So Jane Perrone's there. But by the way, everyone, Perrone wasn't in the shortlist, so maybe I should feel good about that. I don't know. Charles Dowden, he's in the shortlist for social media. Didn't he win it? He won it last year, didn't he? He won it. Now here's the problem with, and they've got another problem in a second coming up. Social media influencer, in my eyes, is Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I don't really see Charles do much on Twitter. They've chucked you can't chuck YouTube. I know he smashes YouTube. He does really great on YouTube. You can't put that in social media influencer of the year because you just can't. It's not. It is social media in a sense, but it's more video form, isn't it? Like I think that should be. I think that should be in vlog of the year. We'll come to that problem in a second as well. Then Candide, which is social media platform for plants and gardening, which when they put it like that, sort of makes sense, but it's more of an app. I'm sure they had an app. Didn't they have an app section on here once? A company can't be a social media influencer. That makes sense. Sally Chandler, Beth Chatto's Plants and Garden, Instagram and Facebook. I've never looked. Let me have a look on there quick. Their Instagram must be kicking off then, is it? Beth Chatto Gardens. Actually, I have seen a lot more of them recently. Good on them, though. Beth Chatto Gardens. Go check out the YouTube. I don't know, actually. Go check out the... 8 hours ago. Go and check out the YouTube channel, because I've done a video where me and Rich from Veg Grow Podcast visited. Big up the Beth Chattos, though. Great British Gardens. What is Great British Gardens? Let me have a... Don't, just stay with me. Just stay with me. I just want to have a quick search. Great British Gardens on... Let's have a quick look on Insta. Great British... Because... Great British Gardens. Here we go. Wait there. What? Great British Gardens. 3 hours ago. I mean... Okay. I mean, if I've got the right people, then... Which I think I must have. #1 online guide to UK, hundreds of visitors. Okay. Great British Gardens, anyway, guys. I mean, yeah. I don't know who Great British Gardens is, but cool. We've got some amazing pictures. They have got some amazing pictures on there. But... like anything like that, I would have thought we went to an actual single person rather than a brand or a nameless. But there we go. Then we go on to the next problem. But that's social media influencer of the year. Then blog or vlog. Here's my problem with this blog or vlog. They should be split because a blog and a vlog is totally different. Like a totally different thing. This is where Dowden needs to come in to vlog. And blog is separate. Life on Pig Row is one of them. And with Andrew Oldham. Bramble Garden, Karen Gimson. Yes. I know a few of these people from Insta. Then Sally Morgan. Then my main man, everyone. Grow Like Grandad, Matt Peskett. I'm rooting for him all the way. Then Alison Levy with Blackberry Garden at the end there. But Grow Like Grandad has got to win this. I'll be so pumped if he wins. But blog or vlog is an issue with that one. Then we've got website of the year, National Garden Scheme, Horticultural Week, bbcgardensworld.com, Richard Jackson's Garden, and Thrive has gone in for that one as well. And out of all of them, I'm not really sure who. It's a way I don't know is the answer to that one. But I know Mr. Perry's website is pretty decent. I don't know if he went in for it even. I don't really know. But they're the website ones. Cool. Then Alan Titchmarsh's New Talent Award. Lauren Hall, Tom Brown, Joff. I'm going to get your name wrong, Joff, but fellow podcaster Joff Elipic. Miranda Jan Ataka. That's not how you say it. And Julian Robertson. Do you know what? Out of all of them, either Joff or Miranda, I think, to be honest with you. Probably more Joff, but, sneakily went in for that one as well. Sneaky. But, obviously there was not going to happen. Never going to happen. Then the Garden Book of the Year. There's a few books, but the one that stands out the most, The Secrets of Great Botanist by Matthew Biggs. Biggsy. If Biggsy wins, then wicked. I'll be well happy about that. Feature Photographer of the Year. We've got loads on here. Feature Photographer. And I'll be honest with you, without seeing the photos, I don't know. I know Jason Ingram. I've seen Richard Bloom stuff. There's a few different people on there. I can't really rate that. Same with the Gordon Ray Photographer of the Year. There's a few names I know on there, but it's not my thing. We'll on to Radio Broadcast Podcast of the Year. There's a massive mistake on there, as we well know. We've talked about it for 20 goddamn minutes. Then the Roy Lancaster TV Broadcast of the Year. This is a weird one. This is a weird one, right? Wildflower Special, BBC Gardens World, of course. They always have their table. The noisiest table. The noisiest table. You ain't seen us this year, mate. I'm well up for it. By the time I really want to do like a Kanye and just walk up there and just interrupt, like when we did that at MTV Awards. Said Beyonce should have won instead of. I'm not going to do that. Houseplant Fashion, which Mr. Perry is part of from ITV this morning. The Great British Gardens from Channel 5. Love that programme. Great British Gardens on Channel 5. We've not talked about that before too much, have we? But with Carol Klein. Alan's Secret Garden, gardensworld.com, which is the Royal Lancaster TV Broadcast Award, isn't it? Here's the thing, guys. The Alan's Secret Garden from gardensworld.com and the Steel Spring Guide on YouTube. The Steel... What? You got two... In Roy Lancaster TV Broadcast of the Year, you've got 2 YouTube. That is why blog and vlog should be split, for sure. Doesn't make sense to me, that, but... Out of all of them, to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind Great British Gardens winning on Channel 5 and Perry, I suppose, on ITV this morning one. But I really like that Great British Gardens one. I did like that one. Then we got News Journalist of the Year, who out of all of them, probably Miranda, back up at Miranda again. Practical Journalist of the Year, we've got Val Bourne, we've got Paul Harvey Brooks, Sally Nex, Alan Titchmarsh and Lucy Chamberlain. All the way Chamberlain, please. And actually, I don't think Lucy's going. Maybe if she needs someone to pick her award up, then... I'm going to text her in a minute. I'm going to say, Lucy, if you need someone to pick your award up, please. The Peter Seabrook Practical Book of the Year. By the way, I'm definitely need to put the book in next year, don't I? Practical Book of the Year. We've got RHS Colour Companion, Shrubs by Andy McIndoe. I remember when Andy told me about Shrubs. Whole book on shrubs. RHS Design Outdoors by Matt Knightley, or Kitely, and some other ones on there. I'm not going to go totally into them. But here we go. Here's the thing. Just by people I know, if I was a judge, I'd be a useless judge, because I'd be like, I know Andy, so... Shrubs by Andy. Read it? Sure. The Beth Chatto Environmental Awards. We'll go into this in a second, alright? The Beth Chatto Environmental Awards. On there, I know Matt Appleby, the Super Organic Gardener. Charlotte Petts, Growing Wild. Sally Nex, the Garden Series on Plastic. Probably say Matt. To be honest with you, again, I know Matt, and I know bits he's done before. Here's the thing. Just going back, just dropping back a little bit, right? Is it any coincidence? Now, I'm not putting a spanner in the works. Is it any coincidence, right, that Candide, sponsor of Garden Media Guild Awards, is in for social media influencer? Not bitter, by the way. Remember that before you start saying, "Oh, he's just bitter." Not bitter. Much. Then, still, are in for TV Broadcast of the Year. Also, sponsor of the Garden Media Guild Awards. Then, what was the point I was making? What was the point? And then Beth Chatto, who also went in, who also sponsor. I don't know how they're sponsors, but they are sponsors. Also get social media. Is that hello? 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 Exactly. Hello? Exactly, thank you. Journalist of the Year. Okay, here we go. Monty Don, Caroline Donald, Alex Mitchell, James Alexander Sinclair, Jane Perrone. I've got to say, again, this is my own opinion. I've got to say, James Alexander Sinclair. I've got to say that. Because he's a podcast friend, isn't he? Podcast friend. If he wins, he gets his own song. I'm going to text him in a minute. If he wins, he gets his own song. All right. Then Dr. David Hessian, columnist of the year. Dawn Isaac. Is she the doctor girl? Is she the doctor girl? Isn't she the woman, the doctor? Dawn Isaac. I don't know. Leah. I'm really sorry, Leah. I'm going to pronounce your name. Mark DiCanio. Mark DiCanio. Marion Boswell and Alex Mitchell. Gotta be Mark, innit? It's gotta be Mark. And I really do enjoy his stuff. It's gotta be Mark. Then, Garden Pub. We're almost come to the end now, peeps. Garden Publication or Garden Section of the Year. Gardens Illustrated. Which Gardening? We've got Garden Design Journal, The English Garden, BBC Gardeners World. We all know that BBC Gardeners World is going to win, so don't worry about the rest. Cover of the year, we've got Kew Gardens, Kew Magazine, the Piles, Country Life, The Garden, and which I be honest with you, I can't even guess at that one. I've not seen them for starters, but I can't even guess at it. I don't know the answer to that. So there we have it, everybody. There we have it. We've thrown some spanner in the works. We've questioned the Garden Media Guild Awards. I think I'll probably put this podcast out once my ticket arrives, and then they can't. Or put it out on the day, and then no one will probably listen on the day, will they? And I'll get away with it. They're just my thoughts, and again, not bitter, not bitter, guys. But you know, yep. There we have it. Don't know how I was going to end it. I am looking forward to it. Look, I'm looking forward to the Garden Media Guild Awards next week. It's at the Savoy. As I will take a hit for you, dear listener, and I will go to the awards, get an exclusive somewhere. I don't know. Stay out of Titchmarsh's way, that's for sure. Just in case he's listened to any of my former podcasts. And there you have it. On the whole flip side, next week, and if you have listened this far, then wicked, thank you so much. If you've got your own podcast, if you've got your own blog, if you've got your own vlog, anything like that, next year, like I said, we're going to do a phone-in. And we're proper going for it. We've got all the equipment. We're ready to go, peeps. We're proper going for it. And in between parts of that live phone-in, we're going to have some adverts. Now, if you guys want to, if you are a blogger, vlogger, or podcast, or anything like that, and you want to promote your podcast for free, there's no strings attached. All I want to do is shout about the best podcast, and that you don't need to be shortlisted. It doesn't matter. I'll come back in a second, that thought I've just had. Then please do get in contact, lee@skinjingana.co.uk, or if you heard that at all, or any of the social medias, yeah? Because I really want to promote you guys for doing amazing work. So I will be speaking to people about that at GMG Awards next week. But you'll get like a 30-second advert every other week, or however many people we get in to promote it. So I hope that sounds good to you guys. The thought I had 2 seconds ago was, remember, I don't know if I remember, did I put it on here? I think I might have said it with Sugget about doing our own awards. We'll do our own awards in January, alright? Does that sound okay? Totally biased. Totally biased. totally by the only people I know. And guess who? Oh no, Suggett's going to be there, so I can't win. Can you win? The Skinny Jean Gardner Awards podcast of the year goes to the Skinny Jean Gardner. There we have it. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Thanks so much for your support. We're going to do it next year. Don't worry, we're going to do it next year. I'm not bitter. Not bitter. Much love. Speak to you later.
Migration. Skinny jean is not my lover. It's just a guy that taught me about gardening. Skinny jean is not my lover. It's just a guy that taught me about gardening. Skinny jean is not my lover. It's just a guy that taught me about gardening. Skinny jean is not my lover. It's just a guy that taught me about gardening.
Hello and welcome to a very special World House 737 edition of Garden's
Is Carol Fine's idea of paradise. Carol, what brought you down? I've always lived I've always yearned for a garden when I got the opportunity to.
This is a Cindy Gamer Gardener. Dotson.